Hey everybody, what's up? It's your boy Rudy coming back at you with the new podcast. First off, I have to apologize because I hadn't been able to get you guys a podcast in just about a month. I actually had to go back and listen to my other podcast to remember where I was at and what I was talking to you guys about, because I honestly probably would have started off talking to you guys about that new bike that I was mentioning to you guys. I got everything for it. I got it built up. I really want to visit with you guys about that. I want to give you guys my first impressions about that bike. I had a pretty serious injury happen to me at Spider Mountain. If you guys didn't check out the video yet, go ahead and check it out down there. It's a real wrecker, man. It was pretty bad, and I'm still actually going through recovery on that. Now I'll visit with you guys about that a little bit more. 12 days later, I was in Bentonville, still pretty injured, but good enough to ride. I didn't really do any big jumps or anything sketchy that I probably would have normally done. The house there was legit. I'm going to talk to you guys about that. I moved. I am no longer in Texas. I am currently here in Rapid City, South Dakota. The weather is very chilly, windy, and it's snowing. So a lot to talk about there. I also want to visit with you guys about riding here, the riding that's here in Rapid City. Also, sweet dirt jumps. I want to visit with you guys about that. And I started out doing some a new diet and exercise, and I'm really excited to visit with you guys about that because I feel like the more I visit and talk about that subject, the easier it is and better it is for me to stay motivated to lose this extra weight that I've gotten, because I thought that I was one weight and I wasn't, and well, here I am. Anyways, those are the subjects that I'm going to try to touch on about today. So let's go ahead and get started with that new bike build. Good coffee. So if you guys didn't listen to the last podcast, what I ended up doing was I purchased a Stump Jumper Evo S2, and I pretty much had everything that I needed to complete the build except for the fork, which that's what I did. And these first impressions that I'm going to give you guys about the bike is going to be with all of those parts that I visited with you guys about. So just a quick recap. New bike. It's got the Marzocchi Z1 Bomber fork, which I really like so far. It's got the X2 shock in the rear, which has been pretty good. I did have to put a volume spacer in that, but no big deal. I think I'm actually going to put another volume spacer in it because of the whole diet exercise thing. I need to lose some weight. Anyways, moving on. The handlebars were one-up handlebars, carbon handlebars, 35 mil rise. Stem came off of my Norco. Brakes came off my Norco. Rims and wheels came off my Norco. Hubs, brakes. Where we're at. So the stem. Oh, no. Sorry. The drivetrain. The drivetrain's pretty much everything that came off of the Norco. The cranks, the Dior cranks, the SLX shifter and derailleur, and the Dior cassette. And that's how I rode the bike. And so I went and I did one ride in Texas at McAllister Park. Not really known for anything too crazy. It does have some pretty decent jumps in the back. It's got a lot of like XC style terrain where you really have to keep your, as a mountain biker, you really have to keep pedaling to keep the good flow. So it can get pretty tiring. Also that day, a friend of mine took me around and showed me all the other little drops that I didn't know about. And this was before I put the volume spacer in, just kind of rode it stock as is. And the bike handled it really well. I really liked it. I was immediately, it felt familiar. Honestly, it felt a lot like the Giant stance. That's actually only 115 millimeters of travel, but the way that it uses the travel and being a 29er front and rear, that bike was a medium. This is like a medium small. It felt like a bigger bike with big wheels on it. But the next time that I was able to ride the bike, took it to Spider Mountain. took it to Spider Mountain, and I was able to, at that time, I knew that I needed to put that volume spacer in, because hitting those little drops at the McAllister Park there, I knew that I was going to be blowing through the travel. So took it to Spider Mountain, got me a volume spacer in there. Not the biggest volume spacer. It's probably like the medium volume spacer. I think it's like 0.06 or 0.6 or something like that. Anyways, it's like the light blue colored volume spacer. Got it pumped up to get the sag set, and took one of the volume spacers out of the fork and went to Spider Mountain. And I had a blast, man. I tell you, me and my friend Shelby, we were just having a good time. It was a good vibe. Usually there's one or two other people that we know there that we ride with quite a bit, but it was just me and him, and we were having a blast. And right away, the bike just felt familiar. It just felt like, it didn't feel awkward or like a new bike that I needed to get, like there was some awkwardness or something that I needed to get used to. Like right away, it just felt like a very familiar bike. It felt, honestly, with the handlebars being set where they were at, it did feel a lot like my Bronson, I guess, in terms of how familiar the bike felt. Not that it felt like my Bronson, it just felt so familiar that it inspired confidence, like immediately. Like I knew where the front wheel was at, I knew where the back wheel was at. Whenever I was jumping the bike, I knew where it just felt, I don't know how else to explain how familiar the bike felt, and it felt good, and I felt very, very confident on it, like immediately, right? So we had a great time. We took a little bit of a lunch break, hung out for a little bit, and we went back to the trails. And at Spider Mountain, where I crashed at, is they call it Black Sidewinder. There's two right-hand hip jumps, and the first one is just kind of like a double. It's kind of a gap jump, I guess, technically, but it's not very far, not very deep, but it sets you up for the speed that you need to clear the second one, that is, again, another right-hander. And I haven't had a whole lot of experience with hip jumps, and I don't know exactly what happened, but I felt like, I came down, and this is the other thing. This was I was so confident in this bike that this was the first time that, like, I was like, okay, I'm hitting this jump. Like, what happens, happens, right? And man, I lined myself up for it. I even cheated over to the right-hand side. It's a right-hand hip. The trail continues on to the right, and then you come down straight into a right berm, a right-hand turn berm, right at the bottom. And I cheated over, and I don't know what happened. Yes, there was a little bit of wind that day. Not any that I never felt sketchy on any of the other jumps that day. But this was, like I said, this was like my first time, I just had so much confidence. This is my first time, like, just committing to hitting this jump. And I jumped, I turned my handlebars to the right, to initiate that right turn kind of hip engagement. And, I went to straighten out my handlebars, just before the wheels touched the ground. And I ended up landing more left on the trail. And as you can see in the video, my hand I just punched this tree with my right hand. It tossed me off the bike, and I went rolling down the hill. Well, I thought I went rolling down the hill. I basically did a half roll, and then the tree stump at the bottom there, right before the fire road, stopped me very abruptly, and I immediately thought I hit it with my lower lumbar, my lower back on the right-hand side. And this injury is really tough to explain, but I felt pain right away, and it scared me so bad I thought maybe I paralyzed myself or something like that. So I rolled over. I'm on my hands and my knees, and I'm like wiggling my fingertips, and my toes, and then I like that's all good. So I get up to one knee and I stand up tall and I stretch. I put my hands all the way up in the air and I stretch and I feel like everything's like moving. So I'm like, okay, that's good. And then the pain just set in and I went right back down to my knees and try to compose myself. But I was a hurting unit. And so my friend Shelby that I was riding with, I'm a little bit quicker than he is on most of the things there. And he comes down, of course, and he's, asking me if I'm okay. And I'm telling him, no, I'm not, dude. I hit my back and I hurt, and he can tell, he's just there for me. He doesn't know what to do. I mean, what can you do really, he's getting my bike and helping me dust off and stuff like that. And he's like, well, you want to, continue on the trail? This is like, 5 minutes of me trying to gather myself. I'm like, no, dude, there's no way. Like my left leg, like, hurts. My left leg and my groin like hurts real bad, like right behind my nutsack, right behind the scrotum, like just very, very painful. And I get my bike and I get on my bike and I pop my seat up and I sit down on my seat. I can barely sit on my seat. It hurts so bad. Anyways, we take the fire road back down to the car, and I set my bike down, and like at this point, this is probably like a good 5-minute, very slow stroll down the fire road, because I can't make any sudden movement because I hurt so bad in that left leg, and not so much my back, just not so much my back, just my, right behind my scrotum, my groin, and my left leg. Anyways, we get down to the car and I set my bike down and I'm like leaning up against the car and it hurts so bad, but I have like this pressure in my scrotum area that makes me feel like I need to go use the bathroom. You know what I mean? So I quick open the car door and unzip my pants and I'm like holding myself up and I'm using the bathroom, and this pain is just so bad that I feel like I'm going to faint. I seriously feel like I was going to faint. I'm like, dude, you don't want to be that guy that pees all over himself. And so mid pee, like I cut it off. I zip myself up. I sit down in the car, and Shelby's asking me, dude, are you okay? Are you okay? I'm like, and then he asked me, you want me to drive us home? Do you need to go to the hospital or something like that? And I just said, yes, you need to drive. So I was able to get myself in the passenger side of the car and find a comfortable seated position. As long as we didn't hit any big bumps or I didn't make any sudden movements, it wasn't bad. I was starting to like feel the pain kind of fade away because I was just kind of in a decent position, right? That didn't hurt. My boy Shelby loaded up the bikes, got in the car. He's like, do you want to go to the hospital? And I said, well, let's get to the main road where I got good reception so I can call my wife and talk to her, let her know what's going on. And at this time, like I said, I'm just fighting back the pain. Like it still hurts, but I found a comfortable position where I can just sit there. And I tried to call her. Well, it's probably like a good 10 minutes to the main road to get good self-reception. And I called my wife and I tell her what's going on. I told her I'm hurt pretty bad. I think I'm going to go to the hospital. And I'm the last person that wants to spend any amount of time in the hospital. But I could feel this pain, behind my scrotum, and it just hurt so bad. I thought for sure that I had broke something. I don't know if it was a hip or a pelvic bone. I knew I hit my back hard. Like I did not know. I'd never had an injury like this before, so I had an experience. So I did not know what to think about with it. So I told her, I said, well, ask my cousins, what hospital should I go to? Good hot coffee. What hospital should I go to? So tell me what hospital. I was like, all right, plugged it in the GPS. This is where we're going. And, the pain starts to get pretty bad. Like even though I'm in a comfortable position, Shelby's like, dude, there's you want me to find a closer hospital? I'm like, no, we'll make it. Can you, stop by the gas station and grab me some Aleve? And so he does. Stop by the gas station, grabs me some Aleve. Now, keep in mind, We are 2 hours from Spider Mountain to the hospital that we're going to, which is just outside of San Antonio, close to my house in Shirts. 2 hours to get there. Excuse me. So I'm just trying to bear this pain, and finally I get that Advil or Aleve, sorry, excuse me, in me. And probably like half hour later, I'm thinking, man, the medicine's starting to kick in a little bit. Like the feeling of faint and the excruciating pain of it like was starting to subside. I'm thinking, man, was this should I go to the hospital? And I braced myself with my hands to move up, like to scoot up in the seat to reposition myself, and my left leg was just dead. Like I almost basically put myself right back in the pain I was just starting to get out of. So I was like, no, we're going to the hospital. This is what I'm thinking to myself in my mind, where I'm going to the hospital. I'm going to be all right. I'm going to find a good, comfortable position. I'm not going to move. And, fast forward, and we got to the hospital, and my wife met me there. And, we got there, and they're like, do you need help, getting out? I'm like, oh, yeah. I was like, preferably a wheelchair, because I cannot walk. Like, it hurts so bad. Like, I'm so afraid to walk. And anyways, they're helping me out of the car, helping me get into the wheelchair. And they're able to help me up to where I can stand on my own 2 feet, and then brace myself to lower my ass into the wheelchair, and again get into a comfortable position there. And we go into the hospital, and I told them what happened. They take X-rays, and they come back. They're like, "Hey, dude, like nothing's broken." And I'm like, "Thank God," like I'm so happy that nothing's broken. But whenever I was taking the X-rays, like they were taking X-rays of my lower back, my hip, my abdomen, my leg, and they couldn't see anything that was broken. But I was in so much pain that I couldn't hardly move in these. They wanted me to lay on my side. They wanted me to lay flat on my back. They wanted me to, I couldn't even sit up on my own. It hurt so bad. Anyways, got back in the chair, and I am in tears. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I am in tears because it hurts so bad. And I'm just at that point, I'm like just so sure that I broke something, and then we get back into the waiting room, and they're like, yeah, look at the X-rays, dude, nothing's broken, but here's a physician, orthopedic doctor, you know what I mean, if you're still feeling bad, or and they told me, they said, probably give it a good 4 or 5 days, and if you're still feeling bad, or you need to go see somebody, go see an orthopedic. Anyways, so the first 2 days home, I couldn't move. The third day, let's go back. So the first 2 days, right? It was really hard. I got home, and I was able to work my way into the shower with my wife's help, take a quick shower. Lying in bed at that point didn't feel comfortable. Like the bed was too low, so I ended up going to like the couch and resting on the couch for 2 days. And whenever I needed to go get up and use the bathroom, and I was out, like I probably slept 90, like a dog. Like I probably slept 80-90% of those 2 days, and I only got up to go use a bathroom and eat some soup or whatever, sandwiches or something, and go to the bathroom. And this sucks so bad to say, like, so my aunt, my Thea, loaned us an upright toilet seat because it hurt so bad to get down, which I ended up using because it just, I don't know, it didn't feel sturdy enough, I guess. I don't know. I didn't feel comfortable on it, so I didn't use it. She brought me a walker, which I did have to use. I had to use a walker because I could not put any weight on that left leg. It hurt so bad. Um, but by the fourth day, I could get myself around. I had to be very, very careful on how I moved that left leg and how it was planted whenever I would like try to put weight on it. And even to this day, this happened back in March. Actually, I think it happened that week after. So March 10th is the last time that I put up a podcast, and I think it was that week, later that week, that Saturday that we ended up going to Spider Mountain. I think I got everything in, got the bike build, and then we went to Spider Mountain. Yeah, pretty certain. Anyways, so it's been almost a month now. Yeah, since the accident. I should go back. I think it was like the 12th. No, the 12th is when we left. It had to been earlier. I must have did that podcast. Sorry, just rambling again. It must have been earlier that I did that podcast, and I didn't upload it until a couple of days later because it was early that I uploaded on the 6th, and I think I had gotten injured on the 12th. But I can't. No, the 12th is whenever we were in Bentonville. So it had to be that week before. I must have uploaded it while I was injured. Gosh, I can't remember. Sorry. Anyways, it's been about 5-6 weeks since the accident, and I still have a pretty serious limp. I currently still I can't push off on that leg to like run, but it actually hurts, especially like. This was the thing. So we had this trip to Bentonville planned, obviously, months before my accident. And then 12 days later after the accident, I'm trying to pedal my bike around to see how I feel. And I couldn't sit on the standard seat because there was just too much pressure in that one area of my groin on the left-hand side, my left leg. So I had this nice, wide, very comfortable seat that I had purchased for my wife so she could ride bikes with me. Anyways, ended up grabbing that bike ended up grabbing that seat off the bike and putting it on and doing some pedaling around, and it actually felt pretty good. Like it felt like there's still pain, but it's manageable pain. So I felt really good about going to at least being able to go to Bentonville and ride. Like I said, I wasn't planning on doing any of the sketchy stuff because the last thing that I need to do is to fall, right? And like either re-injure this or just like make it to where I have another injury that I'm trying to deal with, right? So I'm a very good rider. I mean, I'm not like pro or anything like that, but I'm an experienced rider, and I ride things pretty fast, and I ride a lot, and so I felt comfortable because I've been to Bentonville, knowing what trails are there, what I could do and what I couldn't do, right? So I went, and the first ride that we went there was actually 14 days after the accident. And I was able to ride. I was able to put my foot down, and I was able to not put myself in any serious situation where I was going to injure myself. So I was able to make my ride to Bentonville. It was super, super cool. It was really cool. The friends that I went with were really awesome. The house that we stayed out, that we got, the Airbnb, was so, so cool. It had this massage chair that helped me so much, because we rode every single day. Me and a friend of mine got there 2 days before the other half of the group did. So we rode Thursday. They got there on Friday, and so we rode Thursday and Friday. It was wet and rainy, and we rode in some rain. I actually put a video up about that. And then, of course, we rode Saturday with the group. We went, all over Bentonville. We wanted to do Kohler, but it was closed due to the rain. But we did a lot of the slaughter pen stuff, and we ended up doing a lot, basically spending half of the day at Huntley Gravity Zone, which is really cool. And we spent most of our time on the Siege. Man, I wish I could remember the name of all the trails, but there's one jump trail there that was really, really good. It was running really nice. Anyways, that was a lot of fun. But in the meantime, between this, so we had this trip to Bentonville planned, and then we ended up being in a situation where we needed to figure out where we were going to move to. We were moving out of our current rental property into something else. We didn't know exactly what. Me and the wife talked it over, and we decided that we were going to come back to South Dakota. So we are packing up the house. I asked my wife, this is before the injury, I said, hey, I really want to make that trip to Bentonville with the guys. She says, okay, well, here's the stipulations that we have. You have to have this much stuff packed up. We got to have everything in the garage. We have to have, the stuff that we plan on putting in the storage unit. We have to get that in the storage unit. So I had a lot of things prior to the injury that I was working on, getting done slowly, knowing that we were going to be moving. So we got back from Bentonville on a Monday, and we were leaving that Friday. Now remember, I had gotten injured in the process. So, and I told her, even after an injury, I'm like, hey, I think I'm going to, I think I feel well enough that I'm going to go to Bentonville. She's like, all right, like if you're going to, then obviously you're good enough, you feel well enough that you need to go ahead and get your responsibilities for this move taken care of, so I need to get a bunch of stuff packed up, a bunch of stuff out to the storage unit. We planned on putting everything that we're going to take in our trailer to the garage, which I did. So I got all that stuff done. I was very, very sore because again, I'm still injured, but I can obviously move, and I'm like gimping and limping all around the house and getting this stuff done, so I can make it to Bentonville, which I did. And then while we were there, my brother came up to help us finish off moving the stuff that we needed in storage, the stuff that we needed to take into get into the trailer that we're taking with us. Then he was coming back to South Dakota with us, and then his wife was going to pick him up and take him back home to the other side of the state. So just a lot of things going on this past 6 weeks, like just crazy stuff. And I'm doing better. Every day I feel like I'm getting better and better. I kind of gauge myself. I think I am going to end up going to an orthopedic and talk to them, maybe get an MRI and see what's going on. Because after doing a bunch of searching on the internet, and diagnosing myself, of course, I think what happens is I have some sciatic nerve damage that I think is going away. But ultimately, it's either that, because this is taking so long to heal, it's either that or I have what they call a sports hernia, which isn't a hernia at all. Check that out sometime whenever you guys get an opportunity. But basically, it's if you guys have ever had a severe pull on your groin, it's very much like that. But this is the slowest healing of a groin. I mean, usually whenever I pull a groin, I played a lot of basketball, played a lot of sports in my days. A groin injury lasts 12 to 15 days. And this thing is just not going away. It's not going away quickly. But it is going away, and I've been kind of gauging it from, where I punched that tree. My pinky really took the blunt of that punch of the tree, and my pinky's still like pretty sore, it still hurts. So I keep telling myself, well, if your pinky gets to the point where it feels normal and everything else doesn't, on my left leg and my groin, then you should go in. But we're getting pretty deep into this injury now, a solid 5 weeks, and still not, I'm probably, with the injury of the leg, I'm probably at a solid 85%, and it's just really slow going. And that leg, of course, I've been compensating, these past 5 weeks on my right leg. Um, this left one's pretty, except for pedaling. Pedaling's good. Like pedaling my bike hurts less than walking. And that was the whole thing about like being in Bentonville. Like I can pedal. Pedal's fine. Like that's not a big deal. It's like it's the walking, the heel. I had this huge bruise on my heel and in the front of my um and on the front of my arch on my left foot. And that's from that sciatic nerve damage. And it was huge. And everything was so bruised. Like I was bruised in spots I didn't know you could get bruised. I don't even know how it got bruised. I mean, I do now, but crazy, crazy, crazy. My scrotum and my penis was swollen and bruised, and the bruising finally settled into my left leg and was just looked like I had this horrendous bruise on the inside of my thigh. But I never had any like chronic back pain. I never had anything hit my heel. My leg never got like pulled out from me. It's all from hitting my back against that, stump is what all the damages come from. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Good coffee. So like I said, we had everything packed up. We're here in Rapid City, South Dakota. The weather has been crazy. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, it's MTB&RUDY, MTB&RUDY. And if you're interested in keeping up with what I post more regularly than what I do on my videos, check me out there, because I definitely post a lot more there of what's going on. So here in Rapid City, South Dakota, the weather has been crazy. Like we lived in Rapid City for the first 3 years that we were married. So we know what the weather can do here. We know that. And going into this time of year, we knew that we could see snow once or twice. We've been here for just over a week. It's been like 10 days, 10 or 11 days, and it has snowed 3 times. Snow has accumulated on the ground twice, including today. It's like 40-mile-an-hour winds, stupid high gust. It's blowing and snowing. There's probably an inch of ground on the snow, inch of snow on the ground, and it'll probably be gone tomorrow. And I'll probably be able to ride Friday. Today is Wednesday. Tomorrow everything will probably melt and go away. If not today, because that's the way Rapid City weather works. And yesterday, it's so crazy because yesterday if you look outside from the window, you can feel the heat of the sun. The sky's blue. There's a few clouds, but they're very white, puffy, fluffy clouds. They're not like dark clouds. It looks absolutely gorgeous outside. But it was like we had like 75-mile-an-hour gusts of wind, and it never got above like 42 degrees. But it looked from the window, from inside the window looking out, it looked absolutely gorgeous. And that's how it can be here. It's so crazy that the weather can just switch like that. And like I said, we knew that it could be here, but it's just like, it's just showing us like, yep, you were right. This is exactly what, Mother Nature can do to you this time of year in South Dakota. And, I guarantee you in 2 more weeks, we'll be at 90-degree days, and it'll be stupid hot. And I'll still be riding my bike. But I'm really excited because from where I'm at here, where I live currently here in Rapid City, there's like these 4 different mountain biking trailheads that I can go to. They're all under 20 minutes away. The furthest one is maybe 18, 19 minutes away. And just really, really good like mountain biking trails that I can ride. And there's some of them that I have done before, but there's a couple of them like I did yesterday, or not yesterday, the day before yesterday, Victoria Lake, I went out there for about an hour. Was it yesterday? No, it wasn't yesterday. I went out there for about an hour, and I thought that I was going to do like 6 or 7 miles in that hour, and I didn't even get the loop done that I wanted to do because the climbs are so steep and so challenging, and I am so out of shape when it comes to that. Not to mention, I didn't know this, but I am actually about 4,700 feet above sea level. So we're not quite Denver high, but we're pretty high up here in the Black Hills, and my wind is definitely not adjusted to that yet, and definitely shows on my climbing abilities. But we're getting better. We're getting better every day. Now, the other thing that I'm really happy about, not only do I have these really good, awesome mountain biking trails, but if you guys don't know, one of my favorite things to do is to ride my dirt jumper. And I really love the Velo Solutions pump track that we had in Rapid City, or I'm sorry, in Texas, there in San Antonio. That was probably one of the things that I did the most. So I just really like riding that bike a lot. And I didn't know that they don't have a Velo Solutions pump track here, but they do have some actual dirt jumps for like BMX and dirt jump bikes. So I'm really excited to start showing some of those videos. Again, if you look on my Instagram, there was a little bit of that I was showing on my Instagram. So I'm really happy to be able to ride that kind of stuff, and that they have a community here that's doing some building and making those kinds of jumps and trails and things like that. So that's really cool. Let's see here. Where are we at with time here? Oh wow, still got quite a bit of time. So, the thing that I guess the next thing I want to talk about is diet and exercise and where I'm at. I thought, and if you guys aren't new, a lot of times I quote myself as being a heavier rider. Last time that I weighed myself, I was like 218, and I knew I had gained some weight, so I thought I was around 220, 225, something like that. And I was way off. I was way off. So being here in Rapid City is going to give me the opportunity to basically train as much as I want. Not that I couldn't do it in Texas. It's just everything that is here makes it a little bit easier to succeed. For example, we did have a gym membership at the Y in Texas, but it was literally a 25-minute drive to get to the gym. So that's the number one easiest excuse, is it's too far, it's too late, it's going to take me an hour to get there, or it's going to take me half hour to get there, half hour to get back, because you always round up, right? This gym is I can probably ride my bicycle down there faster than I can drive down there. Driving, it is under 4 minutes to drive down there. It is so close. It's awesome. But to ride my bike, like I said, we're in the Black Hills, so it's a straight shot down, like a very easy, fast ride. But to climb back up to where I'm at, there's some really steep grades of pavement to pedal up. So I'm sure I'll do it a few times this summer, but I am not in a hurry because I got our gym membership and went and did my first day this past Monday. We're on Wednesday of this week, and got to start off, got to weigh myself, see where I'm at. So I stepped on the scale, and I was 241 pounds. Could not believe that I am that heavy. Like I knew I was. I mean, I knew I was getting heavy. I felt so disappointed in myself that I let myself get to that heavy of a weight. Back in 2014, before I started dieting and exercise and really paying attention to how I live my life and how I feel, I was 275, 275. And I had gotten on the Avocare 24-day challenge. A very close family member of mine, he's a personal trainer, got me into it. Absolutely love it, and got real good results. Did it again, got excellent results, and I was just, it taught me to, eat a certain way. I was already living an active lifestyle. I did add weight training into that active lifestyle, which helped a ton. And, I got down to a certain weight, and I kept that weight. And I knew whenever I moved to San Antonio that I could feel myself gaining weight. I got there, I was 200 pounds. And one of the last times that I weighed myself, I was like 218, right? This is like a year later. And I was like, oh boy, better start riding the bike, watching what I ate. But, I rode my bike a lot, but I never watched what I ate. I was still drinking a lot of alcohol, which doesn't help, because then my judgment on what I should be eating after drinking alcohol is not there. Anyways, I'm not totally blaming it on living in San Antonio. I just made the poor choices that put me all the way back up to 241 pounds. Anyways, so diet and exercise. I mean, that's where I'm back at, and I'm so excited to have the opportunity to be able just to train, make my YouTube videos, and ride my bike at awesome places to ride, great places to film, great views. The gym's, so close. There's no reason to make the excuse that it's too far, it's too late. My schedule is wide open, so I don't have any excuses. So should be seeing a lot of gym Instagram posts from me, working out, making sure that I'm doing the things right. And I just feel like whenever I put these posts up and I talk about diet and exercise, it just helps me stay on that track, right? It helps remind me, what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and it's going to help me succeed. So if you get tired of hearing it, which you probably will, because like I said, I'm just going to keep that as one of the normal things that I do in my life, keeping my my weight down, my strength up, and live a positive, happy, and healthy lifestyle. And whenever I get back to Texas, I'm going to continue that, because I don't want to feel like I don't want to feel like I felt when I looked at that scale and I seen 241 pounds. I want to, before I leave here, I want to be at or under 200, and I would like to live my life at 185 to 190. I've been down as low as 175 pounds, and that was pretty difficult for me to maintain anyways. And I found at 190 to 200 pounds, like, I feel comfortable, and I feel like I'm active enough that I can still eat, every now and then I can eat off anything that I want, you know what I mean, within reason. So that's what I plan on doing, is I plan on having a happy, healthy lifestyle where I'm working out and riding my bike and watching what I eat. And I have my wife along for the journey, so I'm really excited to see her progression. She's been off of it too for quite a while, and I know she's been wanting to get back into it. And she started on Monday as well. We're doing the Keto Diet. If anybody's curious, if you have any good recipes, drop me a recipe down there in the comments. That'd be pretty cool. Hit me up on Instagram with the recipe. I'm really excited to have this opportunity to be able to ride and work out and train and get back down to where I will feel comfortable, because there's so many clothes that do not fit me right. And that was like the first sign that, hey boy, you're getting a little chunky. This shirt is snug on you. These pants are snug. This belt loop is a new belt loop that you are having to push through. Like, wasn't feeling it. But for now, I hope you guys are all caught up on what I've been up to and what's been going down in my life and in my world. On the next video, I am going to let you guys know the things that I've changed on that new bike of mine. It is a 2022 Stump Jumper Evo that I am falling in love with. Currently have it set up in 29er front and rear, but I do have a few new parts on it that I'm excited to share with you guys about in the next episode of Rudy Rambles. So thanks for listening, guys. I really appreciate it. Peace out. Go ride your bike. See you next time.